Are you kidding me? I will ask them, Senator. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And no one is happy.
Mr. President and members of the legislature, I hope you've read AM 852. And I don't want to be the guy that throws cold water on the party here, but read it. Specifically, read on page 2, starting in line 15 through line 21. Within such 90-day period, such governing board receives a petition signed by at least 5% of the registered voters residing in such city, village, or unincorporated area of such county on the date the ordinance or resolution was adopted, requesting that such ordinance or resolution be repealed. Upon verification of the signatures of such petition, the ordinance or resolution shall be repealed. There is no vote of the people. You're going to allow 5% of the registered voters to tell the elected officials that they have to have a statewide smoking ban, or that they have to have what's in the state law. Are you kidding me? If we're going to put the bill on the agenda, put amendments up here that have been worked out. As I understand it, Senator Mines wasn't even aware of this provision this morning. There has to be a lot more work done in LB 395 before this bill is ready for any final vote. Now, if the language is supposed to say that at that point the 5% of the registered voters place it on the ballot, that's a different discussion. But here's the process that's outlined. Everybody in the state has a statewide smoking ban. You have until June 1st of 2008 to decide to opt out of that. And you'll have that option starting September 1st of 2007. Between that time period, the city council, the village board, or the county can opt out by a vote of the elected members, or put it on the ballot for a vote of the people. So what you're talking about in the section that I referenced is they voted to opt out. And now you're going to give 5% of the registered voters the opportunity to tell 95% of them without an election that they want to have their way. I'm willing, as I have been as a member of the Health Committee for the last 6 years and going on my 7th year, to point out flaws in this process. I have done it in the committee this year, and I've done it on the floor, and I'm sharing it with Senator Johnson and others on their compromise here. It needs to be worked out. I fully understand that the fact that we have stalled this bill this long to try to get the votes, and it wasn't clear whether that was going to happen, that we've agreed to a compromise. I think that's appropriate. But put in the compromise sound public policy to accomplish it. I'm sure the point is well taken, and I apologize again for my passion this morning, but as you think about what you're trying to accomplish, don't let your fervor get in the way of the facts. And the facts are that this is not the right mechanism to accomplish the goal. And I hope, Senator Johnson is standing ready, and I hope that will be addressed as they further consider other issues. I'm going to have a hard time voting for this amendment, knowing that. Again, I think it's a matter of practical process here, that when amendments are brought before us, whether they're in haste or otherwise in forming a compromise, that they have been read through, at least by the people that have agreed to the compromise, and that they can defend what's in them. I'm sure it's an oversight. I'm sure it is. Just like in the original drafting of LB 395, the word public was spelled pubic. I'm sure that was an oversight. Would Senator Johnson yield to a question?
Senator Johnson, would you yield to a question?
Yes, sir.
Senator Johnson, as I see Senator Mines and Senator White scribbling on the amendment that Senator Mines just withdrew, is it the reason that that is being done is because the language is not correct and that will be offered at a later date, or is that intended to be offered on final reading? I was trying to understand what the next plan was going to be.
And Senator Erdman, you'll have to ask them because we didn't have a chance to go over that with them. So I'm sorry that I cannot give you an answer. Why don't you just ask them?
I will ask them, Senator. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Senator White, would you yield to a question?
Senator White, would you yield to a question?
I would. Musical microphone. Senator White, can you give me the plan of attack, if you will, on what's going to happen here?
Yes. The bill drafters had put language in And we're dealing with double negatives, so it gets confusing, but I'll give you a rundown of where we're at as I understand it. Right now, smoking is permitted. If this bill is passed, smoking is forbidden. Then local governments have the option of allowing smoking in localized areas.
31 ayes, 5 nays, Mr. President, on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. AM 585 is adopted.
Are you kidding me?
Senator Johnson, I appreciate the spirit of compromise in finding a way to move the proposal forward. There are those in the lobby and those at home that are emailing me who want clean air in Nebraska who are saying we've essentially given away clean air with the adoption of this amendment, and that we've given away more than we should have, could have, or is in the best interest of the health and well-being of people in the state. They're saying not to advance the bill. I'm hearing it would be better to wait till next year, since the implementation isn't until next year anyway. Rather than moving speedily before our 11 o'clock deadline, perhaps we could keep talking, keep going until 11. We just don't take the vote today. Give this time to settle in, give people a chance to understand what we did, and then come back for a vote tomorrow or whenever it comes back up again. We're not special ordering it. We're not doing anything else. But when there are these kinds of concerns that are still out there, and I'm not real certain of how all this plays out. We've been crafting amendments very quickly. We may not know what we have now, although I'm sure the opponents know what they got, and they're pretty gleeful right now, which makes me a little nervous. Senator, would you care to respond about why, one, we need to take this vote right away when a little time to think about and assess what we did may be in order?
Sure. Thank you very much, and a good question. And believe me, many of us, and particularly Senator Stuthman and Senator Aguilar, have agonized about this. But what it really comes down to is this, is yes, we are making it possible for these potential opt-out areas. But much like we have seen in Lincoln and Omaha and drawn from knowledge from them, a bill like this has never made it through general file before. It's never made it through general file before. Here we have a chance to pass a bill that will, by all of our best estimates, improve the health of more than 90% of Nebraskans. Do we really want to wait another year and or two? What makes you think that our chances are going to be better next year than they are this year? We're mobilized to do this, and we think that the time is ripe. What says that we can't, in a year or two, make the bill stronger and improve this bill, just like we're trying to improve this from what we are at this time. So I think this is a chance to make a substantial improvement. No, I wish we had our original bill. So you have to make that choice of whether we take this giant step forward for the whole state of Nebraska or twiddle our thumbs for another 2 years and then try again.
You're saying it's better to get something, to better to go forward with this and to continue.
I don't think this is just something. I think this is a giant step.
This is a bill that allows Senator Johnson to achieve what I didn't think he could achieve at the beginning, as I counted the votes. This is going to make it illegal to smoke across the state of Nebraska unless a city council or a county board takes affirmative action, and even then the law encourages the voters to review that decision and determine whether they want to permit smoking going forward. I will believe that you are going to see substantially all of Nebraska indoor air be completely free from smoking. And on that level, I congratulate Senator Johnson and the proponents of this bill. You have pushed the law very far. I didn't think you could get it done, and I support it